When love ends, but the house remains.
Did you know that Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban have a $36 million real estate portfolio?
That's insane.
$36 million. They are been married 19 years and now divorce comes. What happens to your marital assets?
That's really sad. That sounds like they really built like a big life with a
It
lot of
is.
properties.
A lot of properties. I mean, Sydney, Australia, they have a condo in New York City. You said like Beverly Hills. Yeah. So $36 million real estate portfolio that now has to be divided and split up due to a divorce.
And how the heck do you handle that?
And as we know, divorce can be very, very stressful.
Yeah.
It's just a hard time for the family.
Yeah, it's not just about emotions and real estate. It's a very deeply personal process. So while we're representing we've had clients going through divorces, and it's, we've been at the closing table where everybody's supposed to be like, yay, and we've had tears of sadness because it's a chapter closing. So using real estate agent, we try to take those emotions out of it to make sure that you and your ex-partner, I guess I should say, are making the right financial decisions for both of each other to move forward.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if your house is $300,000 or $3 million, it's still a very stressful process. So making sure that you do have the right team and the people in place to be able to help with the process will definitely help ease some of that.
Yeah, and people think that the challenge is really just about the money and seeing, who gets what money, but really the challenge is just preparing. It's a lot of preparation that goes into it because it's not just, selling a house and moving on. It's going completely different ways.
Yeah, I think a good place to start too is to make sure that you do inventory and start a list of your joint assets, any properties, any liens, anything that you guys have purchased together, maybe stuff that you came to the marriage with, because everything has to be split up or find out who is the proper owner.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But in certain situations, what if one person handled all the paperwork? Then what do you do?
Well, that's why you have a title company and a real estate agent, because they're going to pull those documents and handle that stuff for you to get down to who actually owns the property.
Yeah, because people think about it, it's not always just split. Things aren't always just split 50-50 and you guys go your separate ways.
Yes. As you talk about too, that things aren't always split that way. Mm-hmm. And whether something is held in a trust or you bought it before you were married, you came to the table already owning a house, all of that stuff matters.
Yeah, and even if you do own a property jointly together, it doesn't always mean it's half one person, half another person. It could be 75. What's the other person?
25. Okay, we're not here. We're not math.
Yeah, no. So that makes things really tricky. It's not all just about what you want. It's really legal documents in place to protect our clients.
Yes, and the deed tells the story.
It sure does. It sure does.
And as you say, the legal documents protect everybody involved.
Yes.
So
yes,
it's not a matter of personal opinion or how you're feeling or who's hurt. It's all a matter of the legal documents protect all the parties.
Yes, and just as a side note, so obviously I'm hoping that whoever's listening to this podcast is not going to get a divorce at some point in the future, but situations like this just kind of make me realize how important it is to save all of that paperwork. There's so many people that just don't save paperwork anymore, whether it's digitally or in a file safe somewhere at home. Really make sure that you have documentation of your assets. It's so important.
It actually is. It is too. And then you have to ask yourself too, what do you actually want after the divorce? Because there's so many different situations that we encounter, whether they sell the home and then they do split it 50-50, or they sell the home and there is a difference of percentages or ownership, or one person buys the other person out of the home. So one person stays in the house and then they buy out their spouse. There's so many different scenarios. So what is it that you want after divorce?
Yes. Just focusing on the future and, financially too, and making sure those decisions. Even when you have kids involved too, sometimes that one of the spouses want to stay in the home just so there's not as much change for the kids. So making sure they're still in the same school districts and stuff. But making sure that what does that also look like financially for you? Sometimes staying in that home could also financially be a trap depending on what the market's doing at that time too.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to jump out there and try to sell too fast, because then if you sell too fast, is the market in your favor? Is the market against you right now, like you mentioned? So making sure you just kind of I know you have to take like a deep breath and kind of like sit down and it's important to hire, your professional team to work with you and work together. So your real estate lawyer, you may have a real estate lawyer, your divorce lawyer, your real estate agent, your title companies, all of those people need to work together as a team. And we communicate with each other. So, and which is really good because we do. So, we've any of the ones that we've handled, we've been able to work directly with the lawyers or the title companies and work through the different issues that come up.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think sometimes too, people are in just a rush to just get rid of the house because they just want to let go of those memories and like just kind of close that chapter. But when people know that there's a divorce situation, sometimes they're just going to lowball you on an offer, and then you're just willing to take whatever you can get just to be done. So we really try to make sure we educate our clients and making sure that they make, we want to get you still, whatever situation you're going through, we want to make sure you get the most money.
Yeah.
So really though, a real estate agent's job goes far beyond listing a home.
Absolutely. And especially because they're going to handle so many different aspects of just your home. So it's really important for them to stay organized and obviously great communication.
Yes. Yeah. And making sure that we got the proper documents, knowing that working with the title company and it's a lot of paperwork. But there are a couple questions that are really important to ask yourself when you're wanting to make that decision after getting divorced on how to move forward on your properties.
Yeah. I mean, does the decision support my financial stability?
Yes.
I mean, looking at your finances and being able to break that all down and see, how everything gets distributed and what's left afterwards with the different scenarios. So now is the time,
Yeah. And a huge question. I think this should be like plastered everywhere, maybe if I was going through it. But am I reacting emotionally or strategically? Because our emotions, they play a huge part. And they kind of blind, what could be the right decision for you.
I mean, that's real too, because I think a divorce is very emotional and very personal. Mm-hmm. And thinking about how everything, whether you have children or don't have children or for babies, and maybe, all of these things are taken into consideration. So I think being able to look at everything and making sure that you're not making it a decision out of emotional, mm-hmm. Out of emotions. Because even like the other day we talked, and I was like, don't make a decision with your emotions, on 10,000. Yeah. So
I was sobbing.
It's a big decision, and a lot, has to be done, and mm-hmm. It's hard.
And it's hard too, because, for us to be who we are and not show our emotions, it is so hard because like there are so many times where I'm like, I want to say how I feel or, cry with my clients. I'm like, gotta sit here, bite my tongue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And even sometimes you can even ask yourself too, like, what would that property mean to you in 2 years? If you are looking at it emotionally, and maybe this is a home that you've raised your family in and, 30 years you've lived here, it is a very emotional thing. So in 2 years, will that property still mean those things to you? Because if it's splitting mm-hmm. now in 2 years, are you going to regret that you've made the decision to stay there when everything reminds you of those? You know what I mean? So It's just, I know it's kind of like hard to even talk about some of this stuff. So we're sorry, but we're trying to share and keep it real and give you guys some guidelines
and educate
without not sounding sensitive, because we're definitely very sensitive to very sensitive. It's
mm-hmm. Yeah. I've had it's just weird going through those situations, because it's like you also have to make sure that we keep our like I said, emotions in check, because there are some times where our clients are feeling a certain way, so then we're hearing one side of the story, another side of the story, and it's like we just can't get involved in that. So we're always here to be there for you guys, ask questions, and just know that confidentiality is very, very huge with us. And so we don't go spreading people's business, because I know some people are like, don't want everybody up in my business, but
right. Yeah, we take that very serious. Yeah. Very serious too.
Yeah.
And divorce doesn't define your worth.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. Real estate doesn't define your worth.
No.
Your empire doesn't define. Well, it defines your net worth.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but shoot, I mean, if Nicole Kidman and what's his name,
Keith Urban.
Okay, sorry, I'm not really good with celebrities unless it's like Beyonce.
All right.
Yeah,
then all of the tea.
Yeah, then I will tell you her divorce and time and day, all that.
Not that we're putting that on Beyonce.
No, rebuke that. But they're not exempt from getting divorced just because they're working with $36 million doesn't mean they're going through the same emotional heartbreak that other people are going through divorce. So it's not just about
They're still
them.
human.
Yeah, they are. They are. And it's not an easy process, no matter how many houses you have.
Yeah. Well, even being, I think, a product of divorce, my family is divorced. My mom and dad were divorced, and I am divorced from my children's father. Best decision. Sorry. I know personally that it is very emotional, and having somebody really fight for you and be in your corner. I mean, I think we take on a lot too as agents, because we are the people that we are. I mean, we're hearts to home. So, we have a lot of passion and empathy, and we want to go through it with you and take anything and everything that we can off of your plate to make the process easier.
Yeah.
And just because of divorce, it doesn't mean that you're end all be all. I mean, you can rebuild your home, you can rebuild your life, you can rebuild your savings, you can rebuild your confidence. I mean, everything.
Yes.
Rebuild and fall in love again.
Yes. Yeah, with someone else and a house. Plenty of fish in the sea, they say. Haven't seen them, but it's okay. Sorry, I was supposed to be positive. That was not positive.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Hey, that might be what that listener needed to hear,
She'll get your own house, girl. You don't need anyone else. But seriously, on a serious note, if you guys have any questions, or if you and your spouse have been talking about divorce and you just have no idea where to start and the process seems completely overwhelming, obviously we can't guide you in the divorce part, but if you have assets that you're just confused about handling, please let us know, because we want to be a resource for you guys. We want it to be a safe place for you guys to come to.
Absolutely. We're here to walk the walk with you and guide you in any direction we can to help make this process easier for you.
Yes. And then we'll keep our emotions in check until after closing, and then we'll hug.
Yeah. Probably how you went first meeting, but
that's true. We always say that. Like, are you a hugger? Because I am.
I know. We always say that. So we're sorry if you're not a hugger, and we respect it if you're not. We don't.
Just let us know ahead of time. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
We would love for you to be able to tag somebody, share. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast. So make sure you follow us and do all that good stuff. Definitely make sure you share this with other people that we can definitely help.
Leave us feedback. Ask us questions.
Please ask questions.
Yes.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Bye.